Okay, so thank you, Shane. So at Brindisa, what we do is to try to select artisan cheeses from Spain. Particularly my department and me and Jose try to select, the best artisan cheeses that we can find from Spain, and which tends to involve some of the smallest and most specialist producers. And that was one of the things that attracted us in the beginning to 1605. When the dairy was first set up, we understood that the inspiration for the 1605 dairy was more to return to the original style of making a Manchego cheese, to do it in the most hand way, the most intensive, what's the word to say? It's made by hand. Yeah. To reduce mechanization. That's the idea of this cheese. And Dario is here today. We've invited Dario. I first met Dario in Bra at the Slow Food Cheese event a couple of years ago, and then now we're meeting up on Zoom to talk about the Manchego. So hi there, Dario. How are you today?
I am great, thank you. Hello.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. So, one of my first questions was going to be, could you tell us a few things about the dairy, and how it's set up, and then maybe we could go on and understand a bit more about what makes a Manchego sheep so special.
Okay, well, this dairy was made around 15 years ago, and as you said, it was made trying to replicate the very, very original way of doing Manchego in the most traditional way. And it has a farm. So the first thing that we have is we have our own herd of sheep, and the sheep can eat in the farm every day, which is a luxury. And the dairy is run by 3 people. Only 3 persons run the dairy. They're all cheese experts. They've been working with us for more than 10 years. And we have three most important values and important objectives in the dairy, which is the people that we work with that have a lot of experience in cheese. Then the health of the animals. We take good care for the health of the sheep, so we let them free every day. And the third, the quality of the milk. We check the quality of the milk all throughout the year, every single week, in the parameters of protein and nutrients and vitamins and the richness of the milk. Those 3 things are the key things within 1605. And one very particular thing is that 1605, by the way, it's the year where the novel El Quijote was first released. 1605. That's the year of El Quijote, which was written by Miguel de Cervantes and is based in the region of La Mancha. So we're paying kind of a tribute there to that novel.
Okay. Because one of the amazing things about traveling around La Mancha is some of the small villages there, like Almagro. The theatre in Almagro dates from the 17th century. The buildings, the main square in Almagro is the most beautiful ancient architecture. And for me, one of the most beautiful things about going to 1605, apart from visiting the dairy, is this incredible environment that you're placed in.
Yeah, it's quite a special region, and also it's harsh, and the climate is harsh, but they're very interesting things, and in terms of culture and gastronomy, you can have a good time.
Yeah. And the climate, I mean, I remember going to La Mancha in like November, and that kind of end of, well, this time of year really, and it's freezing cold. I mean, people think of Spain as glorious blue skies and like baking sun, but in my experience, La Mancha, it's like thick fog, cold and kind of icy wind, and sometimes also like relatively few people. It's not a densely populated area either, is it?
Yeah, well, this is one of the particular things of La Mancha, and also the kind of breed of sheep that we have here, is that the weather is very continental, so it's very cold. It's quite cold in the winter, as you could see, but it's hot in the summer. So at the end, it has a type of vegetation which is a little bit harsh for the animals to eat. But this breed of Manchego sheep, it's a breed that comes from Central Europe, and it came down to Spain centuries and centuries ago, and has been adapted to the vegetation of La Mancha. And it's a strong breed, like they're quite strong. They don't produce a lot of milk, but the milk is very rich. It's very rich in protein, and it's very rich in flavor because of the type of grass that they eat. So this is one of the particular things of the Manchego sheep. The Manchego sheep, we only have it in 4 provinces of Spain, and there are 50 provinces in total. And well, it just gives very good milk. Not too much quantity, but very good quality.
Yeah, because it's what in England it's what we'd call a rare breed of sheep, isn't it? Really, and there's some very strict controls to make sure that Manchego cheese is made from authentic Manchego sheep milk, and it's not mixed with the milk of other breeds of ewe.
Yeah, absolutely. We have to make official every liter of milk that we produce. We have 900 ewes, but we only have around 250 producing milk each time of the year, and we rotate that. So we are only having 250 ewes, and but every milk needs to go register to the DOP, and then the cheeses also they're registered one by one. So it's quite strict.
Yeah. Should we try a bit of cheese then? Hey, Dario.
Should we?
Let's try a bit.
Excuse me. Let's watch the video first. Don't you think?
Yeah, let's watch the video and then we'll try some cheese.
Let's watch the video. Let them see everything that we're talking about, and then when we come back, we taste the cheese.
In Galicia and a unique cheese shop in Madrid. I'm in Castilla-La Mancha, the backdrop for Spain's most famous fictional hero, Don Quixote. This large plateau is also well known for producing one of Spain's most loved cheese, Manchego. This semi-hard cheese is made from the milk of my woolly friends here, the Manchego sheep. Spain is the second largest producer of sheep's milk cheese in the EU. I'm visiting an award-winning Manchego producer in Ciudad Real to understand how Spain's king of cheese gets its distinctive taste. And it's all to do with those dry but tasty pastures that transfer all the richness of the native flora to the cheese. So this is where the cheese-making process starts.
Yes, that's right here in the fields, because for us the very, very important part of the process, the sheep need to go after the food every day. It makes a very tasty milk. We milk them every day, early in the morning and in the afternoon. And after milking, what we do is in the same day we produce the cheese. We lower the milk temperature to 4 degrees, and from there we take it up to 32 degrees in order to the milk become curd.
After the curd is broken up, the molds are filled manually and then taken to the press. The manufacturing process here has maintained an artisanal touch. Expert maturers select the best cheese and control each piece using technology when required.
Okay, this is for you.
Thank you. Salud.
Salud.
Very good. Very fresh.
Okay, through Brindisa, through our partners, we have this one, which is 5 months. It has a green label, and it says 5 months in the label, and it says selected for Brindisa. This is very special because Brindisa takes care that we have an expert an expert cheese maker, an affineur, that selects all the lots that we produce, and selects the best lots that we produce for Brindisa, and he wants us to have a specific flavor, and that is more or less constant throughout the year. Okay, and we're going to taste it. I'm going to open the product. Okay, we taste it together. This product is going to be somehow flexible. It has more humidity than the older product, and you can see. Let me open the product. Okay, here we go. It's protected with the film, so you can have 12 months of complete shelf lives, but the product inside is very well protected. And this product, first, please smell it. And when you taste it, you're going to be able to taste that it's a product which is, it's more fruity and it's more creamy. It's going to remind you to cream. It's going to remind you to nuts, and to a little bit of fruit, and some olive oil. At the end, it's a product that is going to have a lot of the essence of the countryside in this piece of cheese, because of the milk and because of the food of the animals, how the animals eat in the field. It's quite easy to cut, and it's a product that what I feel is that it's a product that you never get tired of it. One of the particular things is that we are very constant throughout the year with some small variations, but we are quite constant because we have a good team working behind the process of the cheese. Okay.
What I find with the Manchego is that it really benefits from being taken out of the fridge. I mean, people say, an hour or something, but for me, for me, like 4 hours. If I'm going to eat it in the evening, the longer it spends out of the fridge, the flavors just really blossom. And a cold Manchego isn't really doing the cheese justice at all, I think.
No, it feels good, but it's not perfect.
Yeah. And
Absolutely.
I find with this Manchego, do you find this is the kind of there's some cheeses that give you like a real impact as the cheese hits your tongue. But with this 5-month Manchego, I find this is one that you need to chew. You need to give it 30 seconds of like kind of chewing in your mouth to kind of let the saliva break down the crumbs of cheese, let the flavor kind of percolate through your mouth, and then this Manchego to me really delivers on complexity of flavor. And there's an idea what I really love about 1605 is this idea of terroir. There's the idea that there's the sheep, there's the farm, the sheep graze on the farm of the 1605 farm on the finca there, and then the cheese is made on the same farm. So the microflora that inoculate the cheese are specific to that particular area of Spain, that specific area of La Mancha. And there's something just really special about it. And if you look on, it's hard to see so much under my fluorescent light, but the rind on 1605 is just, for me, is a thing of beauty. We although we sell the wedges in our shops, I'll grab this one. In our shops, we'll do the whole wheel of cheese, which is, say, if you go to our shop in Borough Market, this is what we'll be cutting for you. But this rind is just gorgeous, and it's one of the things that really differentiates this cheese from other Manchegos, is the amount of work that goes into making these rinds perfect. Because a lot of Manchegos will get turned, like once a week, or they'll be brushed once a week. But these ones are turned, from what I understand from speaking to the affineur, these are turned every day. And it's kind of unheard of to put so much effort into a Manchego cheese. That's why they're splendid. mean, they're just gorgeous things, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
Just to let rip there about the cheese.
But that is true. If you find that printed on a wall, you would call it art.
Yeah, I mean,
It's quite interesting what you're saying, because the natural rind is totally natural. Most people most dairies put some protection or olive oil, but we don't put anything into the rinds. So we have to maintain the product every day by brushing the product every day and spreading the flora around the cheese every day. And it's natural rind, so that you can eat it also as well as the cheese. Okay?
Yeah.
Something interesting is that this product won the gold medal of the World Cheese Award in 2017, 2018 in London. It was particularly in London, and this one with 5 months. And as you say, Rupert, the product is not super strong at the beginning. It just has a good flavor, but it's persistent all the way. It's very persistent. The flavors keep coming to you after you eat the first piece.
Yeah, and it stays with you. It's that sweetness of sheep's milk that's so characteristic of Manchego. It just stays with you in the mouth, and it's one of the things that I think helps it to blend quite well with other things. At Christmas, quite often I think Manchego goes really well with cava. Personally, it's like fizzy dry white cava, and Manchego is brilliant. You suggested, so like, isn't it in Spain? Anchovies are quite popular as well, aren't they? With Manchego, Dario.
Yes. Well, first I'm going to tell them that for me the Manchego is just something that is very nice to have in the fridge at all times, because it can serve you as a breakfast or as a snack or as an appetizer. It's just a very versatile product to have, easy to cut and everything. But in terms of pairing, well, for example, this one, which is the younger one, is going to be more fruity and it's going to be really excellent for dessert. For example, with some grapes or with membrillo. It could be great with membrillo. And it could be good with the grapes. There's a saying in Spain that says, uvas con queso saben a beso. That means cheese with grapes, it tastes like a kiss. Okay? So remember that thing, just have some grapes together with the cheese, and it's going to be an easy pairing and it's going to be delicious.
Yeah. Also
for the other one that we'll talk about a little bit now, and for the other one, the anchovies that you suggested, I think they go very well with the 11 months, because the 11 months is going to be a product that's going to be a little bit more dry. Okay? And the anchovy, which is oily and tasty, is going to mix perfectly with the 11 months. And if you pair one product with the other, you already have a very, very nice dish. Okay.
Yeah.
And in terms of wines, I will say that this product, the 11 months, is going to go better with the red wines, with the stronger red wines. Okay. While the younger product, the version of 5 months, is going to be good with red wine, but it can go also with white wines or with cava, with a cava that is just a normal cava, which is not as strong as a red wine. Okay, the 5 months,
like a nice dry one. Yeah. I mean, I find with the 11-month one, it goes really well with piquillo peppers as well. With those like really strong umami flavors that you get from some of their Spanish, preserves.
That's a perfect tapa.
Yeah.
And another simple pairing that I like for the 11 months, or for both of them, is the olives. Just the Spanish olives with the cheese.
Yeah. I mean, for me, my classic pairing with Manchego really is bread and olive oil. I think you can't go wrong. Like just slightly warmed bread, drizzle of olive oil, like extra virgin olive oil, something, delicious.
Simple, yet delicious.
And then a bit of cheese on top, and you can't go wrong. It's just, for me, it brings out all the flavors of the cheese.
Okay. Should we try this one too? Open it.
Yeah, let's go for it. Yeah, totally.
Let's open this one. Just be aware that here in the label it says artisan. This is one of the characteristics of this brand 1605, which is artisan, and the DOP gives a specific name to the artisan cheese of Manchego, and that means that it's not pasteurized, it's raw milk, and it's made in small production. Okay?
Yeah.
And if we open it, the smell is going to be not as strong as the other one, the smell. The cheese is going to have less humidity, so it's going to be more dry. It's going to be a little bit more difficult for us to cut every triangle. But it's going to have a completely different texture. You can see it. We can see it already in the texture, and a quite different taste. It's going to be a little bit more spicy. Let's say with a little bit of acidity or with subtle spiciness, but gentle also, and quite persistent. Oh
yeah. I mean, this is really one of our in Borough Market. This is our most popular Manchego, really, the 11-month one.
It crumbles. Instead of being flexible, it crumbles a little bit in your mouth.
It's a little bit firmer and a little bit more concentrated, hasn't it? It's lost more moisture in those extra 5 months of aging, and so the flavors have slightly more concentrated and more. It's kind of sweeter in a funny way, isn't it? That sense of sheep's milk.
It reminds me to olive oil also, and reminds me to leather.
Yeah,
a little bit.
And the aroma to me is that, because if you think, if this is an 11-month-old cheese, the sheep would have been eating the pasture in October last year, October last year. So it's that kind of end of the year, that kind of dry autumn pastures, which has got less moisture in it anyway, and you get these kind of concentrated, kind of wintry flavors. That's what's interesting also about the 5-month cheese at this time of year. It's a cheese that will have been made during the summer. My mathematics is good, like July, June, July, around then. And obviously when the pastures are greener, and so you get milk made from plants at a different stage of their life cycle, and that's reflected in the two styles of cheese.
Yeah, just remember that when the pasture is greener, it doesn't mean that the milk is going to be richer, but the other way around. Like for example, in the north of Europe, with greener pastures, the milk has less protein and is less rich. This is less concentrated. This has more water from the grass. So the less water it has the grass, the more intensity in the flavor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
Yeah, and it's so impressive.
And then just check also I want to show also the rind, the natural rind, how it has been kept perfectly for 11 months. Because we take very good care of every piece. Okay, but we don't take care because of the beauty of it. We take care of it because we want the flora of the mold of the product and the flora to be distributed perfectly throughout the wheel. Okay, so we brush them, but we brush them with the hand every day.
Yeah.
Okay, every day for the first 2 months, which is the most important time of the most important period where the flora really flourishes inside of the cheese. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no,
yeah,
totally.
That's why it's so good, this cheese, and so special. because you take care into every piece of it.
Yeah. I mean, to give people an idea of like the strength profile of this cheese, although Italian people, as I know, hate me for it, but it is, for me, it is similar in strength profile to a Parmesan or something like that. But something, if I'm at home, I'm really happy to use the 11-month cheese in cooking as well. I find it adds really nice savoury notes to all kinds of food, but and Italian as well. Yeah.
Well, that is something that I wanted to explain before, is that the product is very, very, it gives you a lot of opportunities in the kitchen, in your house. It just serves as a useful tool to have. Now that we run everywhere, that we don't have time to prepare lunch or dinner, that we have friends over, and that we need to feed quickly, this is a great product. Also is the Parmesan. But the Parmesan DOP has been more open in order to create other smaller formats and other products, like the product in powder. Okay, here we can do many things that normally are being done with the Parmesan. We have been less creative as a DOP in Spain. Okay, but this is a product that has a lot of culinary uses.
Yeah. No, it's really popular in Spain. I mean, one of the things that we make at home is Manchego biscuits. Actually,
that's
to have again with cava at Christmas. Goes very well. Yeah, instead of just replacing in a Parmesan biscuit recipe, just straight replace it with Manchego. That works wonders. Yeah.
Yeah, I also like the product. I like the product with marmalade or with honey, with a little bit of it on the top of it.
Yeah, a little bit of honey, a little bit of honeycomb. That's really good. Yeah.
And something interesting about this product is the last year, 2009, this one won the 3 stars in the Great Taste Award of London. This is a different award than the 5 months. The 5 months was in the World Cheese Award, and this was the Great Taste Award, which is made in UK, in London, and it won last year thanks to Brindisa that presented the product.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. It's an amazing piece of cheese. We're really pleased with the result. Yeah. Okay.
And just something else is that I hope people like the packaging also, because it could serve as a good packaging to give us presents during this Christmas period. And the same way that we enjoy a lot making the product, I hope that you people enjoy eating the product and giving the product as a present.
Yeah, we us too.
Well,
Okay,
Dario, I think I know what I want for Christmas now. Anything better to ask Father Christmas for than a beautiful Manchego. I know all of us that have been watching you have just been absolutely enraptured. I've been here silently just listening and watching and just really, really enjoying this. I just love the idea that there should be Manchego in the fridge for breakfast, lunch and dinner. And the idea that the cheese is just so beautiful, and Rupert was near poetic, but as Jose was saying, you could put this cheese on the wall and it's almost art. Really, this really sums up everything that Terra Madre is about. It's about cheese with a sense of place, and as Rupert was saying, this cheese has terroir. There's something very, very special about a cheese where the animals are being milked at the same place as the dairy and then being aged in the same place. And for these cheeses to be turned by hand every day is just something really, really extraordinary. That's what slow food is about. It's about the artisan. And if we want that type of food, if we want that type of agriculture, our landscape here and in Spain and overseas looks as it does because of food and farming. If we want that, and I believe that we all want that, then we do that by buying these products. Here in the UK, as I say, we're really, really fortunate that we've got people like Brindisa who care passionately about everything they buy. They don't just sell cheese, of course, but we're particularly talking about cheese today. And it's because of them that people like Dario have a business, because the producers are really important, but without retailers, there are no producers. And without everyone here watching, without us going and spending our hard-earned pounds with those retailers, there are no retailers. So there's a really good link there between producer and retailer and consumers. So I urge all of you to, it's the 10th of December, so it's almost Christmas, but go off and get some of this wonderful Manchego for your Christmas table. But remember that cheese is not just for Christmas, it's for life. So have it for your Christmas table and keep on enjoying it. It's just been wonderful to have you all with us today. So to Rupert and to Jose at Brindisa, thank you very much.
Thank you.
At the Borough Market shops. If you aren't able to go out or don't wish to go out in these times, then as I say, they have a website. You can also buy from the Borough Market Good 60 online. I know sometimes it's difficult. Even here today, we're social distancing in the Brindisa office. Rupert and Jose are 2 meters apart, which is why we have this slightly strange split screen. There's times we have. And enormous thanks to Dario. And of course, we need to thank the sheep, without whom there is no sheep. Hopefully, I will see the three of you maybe in Bra for slow cheese. But to all of you, thank you very much from everyone. So that was the most wonderful presentation there with Dario from the Cheesemaker, and we had Rupert and Jose there in Brindisa. It was really, really wonderful to be able to film that earlier this week. We need to do that for the diaries. But I've also got some cheese here, very exciting, the most wonderful, wonderful Manchego. So I'm going to taste the 5-month cheese as well. If you have some at home, and you may have tasted along already, here's an opportunity to taste a little more. My cheese has been out all day, much like Rupert. I'm encouraging you to keep your cheese out. And it's just a thing of beauty. It really is. And the aroma is savoury and slightly tart, some nice acidity, and fruity. It's actually really, really very fruity. Earlier today, we had a cheese which was washed in Prosecco. Actually, it was from the Drunk Cheese Company in Borough, which had some real appley notes. But this has almost green apple, and obviously it has not been washed in any kind of wine washing. So let's have a little slice of this. If you're eating it at home, then have a go again. And all cheeses, the flavour is more intense at the rind than it is in the centre. The reason for that is that cheese is literally dehydrating. That's what happens when you're aging it, is the moisture leaves. So the flavours are more intense at the rind. At the heart of the cheese, they tend to be creamier and more milky. It's very milky, actually, and a little nutty. I was actually eating some Brindisa almonds yesterday evening, and there's a touch of almond, kind of green almond, fresh almond, slight bitterness, but beautiful. It offsets the cheese just absolutely wonderfully. Cuts beautifully, and just really, really delicious. It's slightly green in flavour in that it's got those kind of fruity notes. It's kind of herbal lays there coming through really well. The cheese itself is firm, but it's not intensely hard. It's not like handling something like a Parmesan. There's a slight give in the cheese, but a really delicious cheese. So let's now taste the 11th month. I think Rupert or Jose was saying this is the most popular cheese that they sell in Brindisa. It's got more age on it, and with the aging, more water has left the cheese. It's dehydrated a little bit more, and if you can see, it's a darker colour in this lighting, perhaps not. But this cheese is kind of a light nut brown, whereas the younger cheese is a kind of a straw colour. The flavour the aroma intensity on this is really significant. Some real spiciness on the nose. So let's have a taste of this. completely different. It's both the same cheese and an utterly different cheese. You can taste little crystals in the cheese, which is coming naturally from the glutamic acid crystals that form in hard cheeses. You find those in things like Parmesan and so forth. You find those in aged cheeses. It's bringing through the acidity. It's much, much spicier. It's quite a spicy cheese. And some kind of hay notes. And the most beautiful, beautiful, beautiful length. Someone was suggesting honey earlier. I think it may have been Dario that was talking about honey. I would personally put honey with this. If you match sweetness with the salt, you get this kind of wonderful marriage of flavors in the mouth. But this is just exceptionally, exceptionally Moorish. Let's have another little taste. It's so good. And the length is just awesome. It really is incredibly good. Now, the price of these cheeses are very modest. I mean, this is the other thing we need to tackle, that actually to eat well does not cost huge amounts of money. Sometimes it's a perception that to eat these quality foods, that it's beyond all of our reach. You know, if you were to buy a supermarket allegedly good quality product, one of their best, finest ranges, you'd be talking about the same price point. This is just superlative. I mean, and many magnitudes better. You've managed to meet the producer. We saw the sheep and the land in that video that Dario very kindly shared with us. I think this cheese is just one of the most exciting cheeses I've tasted today. I've tasted a lot of cheese today. This is the last of our cheese sessions. We also heard that Dario met the guys at Brindisa at Slow Food Cheese. So cheese is the world's biggest cheese event, and that's also run by Slow Food. So this Terra Madre Day, as I say, we're 31 years old. It's the day that we signed the Slow Food Declaration that said everyone in the world should have good, clean and fair food. And we can all do that if we buy it. And that supports those producers. It gives them a market. It gives us the landscape that we want to see, and everything else that we would desire that comes with that. If anyone has any questions, I'm happy to take some general questions. Otherwise, we will pause here